Yeah, both ways. Listen, we have about 5 minutes to go. I just want us to talk about something that happened. Two people are beefing in this country. One was a previous holder of that office. The other is the current holder of that office now. Wait, this time we saw Kenya's deputy president quite upset. What ticked him off? Let's start off with the former holder of that office.
Wasanii waombe msamaha. Wasipoomba msamaha, tuwache kusikiza nyimbo zao. Number 2, zile entertainment joint wanaenda, wasiitwe huko tena. Na wewe kama ni mwenye klabu, ukiita huyo mtu, customers wahame, waende pahali ingine.
And that got the current deputy president all fired up.
Umeamrisha wananchi wasisikize nyimbo. Unaamrisha kama nani? Unaamrisha kama nani? Tuheshimiane, my friend. Mimi ni mtu ya heshima, lakini my friend, if you come within shooting range, we will deal with you.
And he didn't stop there.
Nimeona watu wengine wamejawa na kiburi. Wanaenda kutuongelesha hapa kama na kutulecture. Unatulecture ukiwa nani? Kwani wewe ni Mungu? Una lecture kila mtu. Una lecture mwanamuziki, una lecture mwanasiasa, una lecture kila mtu. Kwani wewe ni Mungu? Wewe tu, mimi nasema hivi. Ukitaka tuheshimiane, heshima ni mara mbili. Utuheshimu, tukuheshimu. Usipotuheshimu, my friend, tutakanyangana na wewe, my friend.
Okay, he was really upset.
He's very angry.
Wanamuziki ni watetee wapate haki yao. Si wanatutumbuiza vizuri. Kwa nini mwanamuziki ambaye Mungu amempatia talanta kama ya footballer, kama ya comedian, wale wako Amerika, lakini wanamuziki wetu wanaendelea? Nembo huyu anaitwa nani? Huyu anaitwa nani? Mungu amempea kipeo ama hajampea? Amempea. Si amempea? Yes. Mbona aumizwe na mabrokers? Mbona aumizwe na makampuni ya simu? Yeah. Mbona aumizwe na wale wanatumia skiza yao? Yeah. Lazima wapate haki yao, yes, kama wale watu wengine ambao wanataka jasho yao ili waelimishe watoto wao.
You never see Abraham that fiery.
Abrake?
Yes, you never see him. And that must have really gotten into him. And look here, for me this is a Mount Kenya popularity contest between Kithure Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua. And why am I saying so? Kindiki is President Ruto's first and foremost foot soldier in the region since the departure of Rigathi Gachagua. And therefore, he must prove his worth. He must act rough and tough to show the president that he is able and has the ability to take on Rigathi Gachagua on ground. On the other side, you have Rigathi Gachagua, who wants to lay claim to being the principal shareholder in Mount Kenya. And that anything that goes on in Mount Kenya must be as a result of his decision. And therefore, for him too, he must ward off any attempt by William Ruto and his friends to try and gain any foothold in Mount Kenya. And therefore, we are going to see this. Maybe the first test that we're going to see this quiet is after we see the by-elections that are going to come up if and when the IBC is reconstituted and get into office. That would be the first real test of this contest. In the time being, every other weekend, we are going to be treated to such.
To this. Sam, and then...
I think, first of all, the former deputy president is wrong in asking the people to stop listening to these musicians' work just because they took part in what appears like a political engagement with the government of the Republic. The last time I checked, adults, in this case, Kenyans, have a right of association, freedom of expression, and they have political rights to do whatever they want and to express themselves whichever way they want to do when it comes to matters political. So really, I do not see any law that would make what former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said to be binding on anyone. And it's actually unfair because Kenyans have to be free to express themselves. But at the same time, I find it fascinating for the Deputy President, in this case Professor Kithure Kindiki, to go ahead and say that tutawatetea hawa wanamuziki, tuendelea kuwatetea. The last time I remember when he was with the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Geoffrey Ruku in Embu County, and the Cabinet Secretary was telling the Deputy President that hawa wananchi wamesema wanataka barabara fulani ijengwe. He sat him down and told him that now you're a member of the cabinet. You sit in the cabinet. You're no longer a member of parliament. It is not for you to come and ask for the rights of these people. It is you to help the president to achieve those. So when the deputy president is telling the people that munataka tuwatetee, tuendelee kuwatetea ama tuwache, I struggle to establish what office does he occupy today. Because if he told the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service is no longer a member of Parliament, how about the Deputy President, who has not been a member of Parliament for more than 3 years now, if you have to remember when he was a senator? Yeah. So, but at the same time, we all know what's going on. They're calling it empowerment program, where a lot of money is being spread to some groups or individuals and whatever is happening. I would imagine that for a forward-looking government, the best idea would be to come up with a program, give it a law.
Structure it.
Structure it. Yeah. Give it a vote. We now have budget estimates for 2025-2026. Where is the empowerment program in it? Yeah. So that you do not treat regions with a bit of attitude to an extent that you're finding that everywhere you go, there's some 3 million shillings coming from the president and 2 million shillings to escort what the president has brought, but the money is being brought by the deputy president. That empowerment program, I don't know what it's supposed to achieve and what it's supposed to be. There needs to be a better way of looking at what essentially should have an economic empowerment output.
Ni kutuliza ground.
Yeah, yeah. Linus, final word before we close?
Well, I think what we are witnessing is the continued scramble for the Mount Kenya control. And remember, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has staked his entire political life on Mount Kenya. He without an apology, presents himself as a regional politician. He doesn't bother about other areas. He talks about Mount Kenya. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is armed with two things. One is a very sharp tongue, and two is a very low embarrassment quotient. He is capable of saying anything, anytime, anywhere, and it's a weapon he has used all along. And I think what Kenya Kwanza is going through is what the opposition went through when Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president. He was speaking exactly like this. And does he hurt? Yeah, even at close range, he does. Yeah.
Firing range?
Yeah.
Within firing range. Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget, you know, even as we close, music is a very important part of the political and, you know, socio-cultural movement in Mount Kenya. So, and we've seen several musicians who, by their songs, have delivered you know, the vote one side or another. So this is also, you know, part of that scramble. Whoever then has sway over the musicians in Mount Kenya.
We roundly called out the former deputy president for that ban.
Yes.
I think we did around this table because it's is that even economic sabotage?
It is.
I think Rigathi needs to differentiate between being in opposition and having a vendetta. Yeah. He needs to do that.
Okay. So, Jamila, finish?
Unajua nataka kujaza leave, so nijaribu kubembeleza boss. LK, please.
Well played.
Peleke nyumbani.
Yeah, I'll be releasing you to go and look for the public sale.